We're back on the record. You may resume. You're welcome.
Your Honor, I'm going to put up, well, I would ask to put up on the Elmo States Exhibit 6A, page 3841, is one of the emails.
You may.
Dr. Flores. When you reviewed the emails in this case, was there an email on at the end of August that was important?
Yes, it is an email that I did.
Tell me why that's important.
In that email, Mr. Neuman is telling Ms. Sneiderman, marry me. And this was, I think, right after that first trip to Greenville. At that point, he told me that he had not been told by Andrea Sneiderman that she loved him.
At that point, had they had intercourse?
No, they had not had intercourse.
At that point, you said she had not told him that she loved him. Had she told him that she was open to even a relationship with him?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained. Rephrase that question.
Did he tell you, no, not specifically, did he tell you that she had told him she was open to a relationship with him?
Objection, hearsay.
The way you're afraid. Sustained. You could rephrase that question, counsel. I'm listening. Go ahead and rephrase that one. Sustained.
What I'm asking you is not necessarily did she say this, but what he told you, he believed she had told him, or he believed she had communicated to him.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. That question calls for hearsay.
It doesn't go to the truth of the matter. It goes to what he believed and how it affects her diagnosis.
Well, counsel, okay. I heard the question. Sustained. Rephrase that question.
Did he have any external proof that she was even open to a relationship?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. You may better answer that question. Now, answer the question that she just asked you.
No, he did not.
And going back to Defense Exhibit 27, the chart we had up earlier, was there a point after that marry me email where he met up with Rusty again?
Yes, there was.
And tell us about that.
At the end of August, Mr. Neuman said that he stopped by Mr. Sneiderman's house, and he said that the reason why he stopped, he said it wasn't because he wanted to discuss business ventures. He said he was not interested in business ventures. He was happy with the job that he had at that point, with what he was earning, and he didn't think that Mr. Sneiderman would really have any real job to be able to offer him. So he said that the reason why he went to see Mr. Sneiderman is because he wanted to just kind of double check for himself about whether he thought he was on track or not with his perceptions about Rusty Sneiderman's poor parenting of the children.
And was there another event immediately after that meeting that was important to his mental health status?
Yes, there is. When he left Mr. Sneiderman's home and he was driving back in the highway, he said he heard the angel again, and it appeared again as he was driving, and this time the angel said to him, he's going to hurt them, and you have to protect them. You can't let this happen again.
And we talked earlier about the relationship between the hallucination and the first delusion. Did we see that again here?
We do. By this point, he has a delusion. He thinks the children are in danger, and now he's getting confirmation from this voice that's telling him that in fact the children are in danger and that he has to do something to protect them. So it is part of the delusion, and the delusion is being fed by hallucinations.
And does the time lapse between the first hallucination and the second hallucination have an impact on this delusion?
It does. My opinion is that by the time he heard that second voice and that additional delusion developed, that he'd had a period of time in which he was seeing all of these ideas of reference and interpreting interpreting those things through this delusional lens. And so by the time the second voice is heard of the angel, by that point the delusion was already pretty much set, and it was becoming what we call more complex.
Now, with the ideas of reference, and you talk about evidence and him referring to evidence, is that evidence that someone else would agree is evidence?
No, it is not evidence that somebody else would agree is evidence. It was evidence only as Mr. Neuman saw it through his delusional perceptions.
Now, did you ever ask him whether he thought Andrea could protect the children?
I did ask him, and he said that he felt that she could not protect the children, and when I asked him why that was, he gave me two reasons. One of them was that she was traveling a lot, so she could not protect the children because she was traveling a lot. The other one is that he said that he had told him that that Rusty was going to hurt them, and that Andrea Sneiderman, he told me that Andrea Sneiderman had responded.
Objection to your
Sustained. You want to rephrase that question?
No, I think she's talking about
Go ahead.
what
Finish
he
your
told
talk.
her, and
So what? Say that again.
this is not to that she actually said this. This is to what he said he believed she had said. And I think that is not hearsay.
Because
It's part of his diagnosis. It doesn't go to the truth of the matter. It doesn't go to did she actually say this. It goes to what his belief was about this delusion and whether she could protect the children.
sustained.
Did he believe that he could simply get her, that he could protect the children by getting her to protect the children for him?
No, he did not believe she was capable of protecting the children.
Now, at this point, was there any kind of, at this point, had they had intercourse?
Not at this point.
Had she said she loved him? Did he believe that she said he loved him?
He believed it, but he said that she had not told him this.
Now, was there another trip after that?
There was. The next one would have been to, I think it was England and Scotland. And that would have been in, is it October? I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time
You
saying
look
it.
at September?
September, I apologize. Yes, it was September. And they took a trip together to England. At this point, he said the relationship was some of the pulling and pushing, and he actually had suggested to her that maybe they don't spend that much time together or travel together in England, and she had insisted on them spending time together.
And during this time, are they still talking about the children?
Yes, they continue to talk about the children, and yes, they do.
And do they shop for the children on this trip?
They do. They shop for gifts for Sophia and Ian on the trip.
After they get back from England, does he take another trip?
There is another trip between Mr. Neuman and Andrea Sneiderman where they travel a second time to Greenville, and that is in October.
Let me back up. Did he take a trip alone before that he told you about?
I'm sorry, did he take a trip?
Did he take a trip alone?
Oh, yes. He went to Houston to that Disney Institute.
Okay. And the jury has heard from a witness that said he shared.
Objection, Your Honor, to what the jury has already heard from another witness.
I think I can give a hypothetical based on evidence in this case.
I'll let her finish the question first. Go ahead and finish that question.
The jury has heard from a witness who said that he met with her in Houston and told her about a relationship that he had someone that he was infatuated with. Is that consistent with what he told you?
It is. That is what he told me.
And if he was, he denied to her that that person worked for General Electric. She was a General Electric employee. Is that inconsistent, or does that make you question your diagnosis in any way?
No, it does not make me question my diagnosis. It would make sense because she was a GE employee in human resources.
Is there anything about his delusion that would keep him from realizing that a relationship with Andrea was dangerous to his career?
No, there is not.
After that, at this point, I would offer into evidence Defense Exhibit 7. It is page 5290 of the previously stipulated and admitted document emails.
And that's page 5290.
5290, and I
Any objection to page 5290?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I submit by objection. Make motion to the jury if you wish.
Was there an email that went out at the beginning of October regarding his relationship with his wife?
Yes, there is.
And did you have us prepare a chart that makes that email easier to read?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I would ask as a demonstrative aid only that I be allowed to present Defendant's Exhibit 28. Is that right?
28, all right.
I'm sorry,
And you said this is a chart, Counselor?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Any objection to Defense Exhibit number 28? Any objection to Defense Exhibit number 28?
Your Honor,
Is that
I'm going
yes?
to withdraw that.
Oh, okay, just withdrawn.
exhibit.
For me to consider, move on.
May I approach the witness?
Oh, yes, ma'am. You may approach.
I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 7,
Okay.
that email. Can you tell me, first of all, who was that email sent to?
It was sent to his children, his wife, additional family members, and friends of Mr. Neuman, from Mr. Neuman.
Okay. And can you read that email?
Dear Relly Lee.
That is page 5290.
5290, 52, and the two following pages.
Okay.
Defense Exhibit 7.
Doctor, when you use the term his friends, is that what that says, friends?
It's his friends.
Okay.
It actually says friends.
All right, so it doesn't say anybody's name.
It has names on the CC list, Your Honor.
Okay.
It does have specific people's names.
May I just see that again?
Sure.
I heard it. Let's see. I'm looking at number 7. Now, on the, does it say friends on the to line, or is friends mentioned on the dear line?
On the dear line.
Okay, I think, didn't the lawyer ask you who's that to?
Okay.
And it doesn't say 2 friends. Is that correct?
That is correct. He told me that it was two
Okay,
friends.
that's different. Okay. She asked you who's that. Didn't you ask that who's that to?
I did.
But it's not 2 friends. Okay. On that exhibit, does it say 2 friends, or does it actually give names?
It gives names, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay. Let me just get you to back up and read exactly the list of names that it was sent to.
Okay. It was CC'd to Hemy Neuman, from Hemy Neuman. It was sent to Addie Neuman, Lee Neuman, Tom Neuman, Aviva Postelnik, at 2 different email addresses for Aviva Postelnik, Debbie and Ellie Zisman, Dov Litsky, Eddie Wertner, Eris and Shirley Inbal, Lilith Poplovsky, Mark Newman, Michael and Monique Metch at 2 different email addresses, Rebecca Cohen, Ronnie and Betsy Newman at 2 different email addresses, Tally Burrell, and Ronnie, did I say Ronnie Potusman? And Ronnie Potusman.
Go ahead, counsel.
The CC email address, the Hemy Neuman, does it specify whether it's the home email or the GE email? In other words, was that sent to his home or was that sent to GE?
The one that he CC'd was sent to GE.
Can you read that email?
Hemy.Neuman@ge.com.
No. I'm sorry. The content of the
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Okay. It begins, Dear Relly, Lee, Tom, Addie, family, friends, and there's slash marks between each of those. I am writing this to everyone so to prevent any confusion or misunderstanding. I know this hurts, ... I am sorry to everyone. I do love all of you very much. And then it says Relly with a colon, and it says, this morning I got up to yet another discussion about our future. Do you deserve to have an honest discussion? ... Yes. But the truth is that I needed time to sort out my feelings, to understand, after all we went through, how I can make it happen. Could I be more open? ... Yes. ... And I did open up during this last month, but it wasn't enough. ... You needed more. Did I massage you and hold you and kiss you and cook for you? ... Yes. ... I was trying to build myself back up. ... Was it enough for you? ... Never. And that is the biggest problem. You are a beautiful, wonderful person. We had 22 mostly wonderful years. We have 3 amazing children. ... We are very blessed with that. We built a beautiful, warm home, but this relationship is destructive. The other day, I almost got us into an accident because I couldn't give you what you wanted, and it frustrated the shit out of me, and I almost lost it. I can't do it anymore. I can't hurt you. Next paragraph. Am I, fucked up? ... Probably. ... Do I need help? ... Probably. ... I set up the appointment with the DR tomorrow because I honestly wanted to see what I could do in my soul to make it right. But you needed to try to make it right on Friday and today. ... I can't do it. Next paragraph. Will the children be hurt and have issues? ... Yes. ... But our support, they can continue. But with our support, they can continue to do great things. Would it be best if the support was together in a warm home? ... Of course. But if we work together for their sake. ... Next paragraph. I am so sorry. You are a great, beautiful person. ... And I love you as that person. You have been a wonderful wife. ... No longer for me. Unfortunately, not anymore. The next line, there's a space and then there's a line, and it says Lee/Tom/Addie : I wish it was different. I wish you didn't hate me right now, but you do. I am honest in that I tried. But the last 2.5 weeks just proved to me that our basic behaviors will end up in me pretending forever and hating myself, hating my life. I can't do that to me, and I can't do that to you. I can't be a bitter, angry husband, father, and person. Next paragraph. This morning, after all that happened, I went out and took care of the garden for the winter. ... That's who I am. ... I take care of those I love, and I do not absolve myself of any responsibility. Not to you, not to your mother, ever. Blank, and then another line. It says, I love you. I will always be there for you. And then there's a space, and then it says family/friends, : you are extremely disappointed, ... I know, ... It all seems so perfect, ... How could such a great home with such great kids be in so much trouble? Yes, ... I keep it all in, ... I have my poker face, ... I'm sorry that I have put you through this. And then there's another paragraph. Please support Relly in every way. Me, ... I've been through hard times and I will make it through this one, ... I'll be speaking to all of you in a few days. Right now, talk to Relly, ... The only ones I want to talk to today are Lee, Tom, and Addie. Thank you all for your support. Blank line, I love you all. Signed Hemy, and then at the bottom it says Hemy Neuman and his Yahoo address.
What does this email tell you about his mental state at the time that all this was happening?
It tells me that he is overly sharing personal information that he usually doesn't share, that there's some indication of possible some manic stuff going on, with him being really disinhibited, being overly personal, sending an email with really personal detail to all these people.
Now, on that same theme, if he shared with Orna Hannison, the woman he met with in Houston, if her testimony was that he shared details of his sex life at home, that he shared details of his relationship with, under Neumann, with an employee, and that Orna Hannison was actually a human resources officer with General Electric, is that fact important to your diagnosis and to what you're seeing here?
It is. It's consistent in that I'm seeing a pattern in him having lower disinhibition, overly sharing stuff, not having that filter, and that is one of the things that we sometimes see with a manic episode.
Going back to Defense Exhibit 27. In October of 2010, was there another trip?
Yes, there was. They went, this is the time that they went on a second trip to Greenville, South Carolina.
Now, if the evidence in this case from the person who served them at the restaurant is that she described Hemy as having a personality, being happy, twirling Andre around, he kept saying, this is great, is that significant to you?
It is, because his personality is...
I'm going to object to that. The witness doesn't have a foundation to, I believe, answer the question about whether that was normal or not normal for this defendant, whether she knew that was his typical personality or not his typical personality. So I object.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Lay a foundation for why she can answer the question that you just presented to her. Sustain.
Are you able to say, given the over 18 hours you have spent with him discussing all of this, are you able to say whether or not that behavior was typical or whether that behavior showed evidence of symptoms that you've been discussing?
My opinion is that it showed some indication of some mania, of some just overactive, overelation, overly happy, overactive.
Now, did he share with you whether or not the relationship well, whether or not they had intercourse in Greenville the second time there.
Yes, he does believe that that time it did happen.
And if he told another friend of Miss White that she gave in after that trip, would that be consistent with your beliefs as to whether they actually had intercourse?
Yes, it would.
After that trip, did their relationship stay romantic, or did their relationship change?
It changed again to where Ms. Sneiderman once again withdrew and sent him an email that said,
We'll get to emails in a little bit.
It changed again to where she once again sort of gave him the cold shoulder.
I'm sorry, what was the last term you used?
She gave him the cold shoulder. She was a
No, I'm
little.
saying, is that what he told you? I think is that the question, what he
Yes.
told? Did he tell you she gave him a cold shoulder?
No, what he said was
I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood the question. Ask that question again, because I want to make sure I'm listening.
What did he tell you? How did the relationship change after that?
he said that she puts a distance against between them, was what he said.
After that, was there another time when he went to Andrea Sneiderman's home?
Yes, there was one more time in which Andrea Sneiderman took him to her home when Rusty was present.
And then was the shooting immediately after that? A few days after that?
It was.
Did you review the phone call records that have already been admitted in this case?
Yes, I did.
And did you tally up the number of phone calls between Andrea and Hemy?
Yes,
And is there a chart that you prepared regarding that?
there is a chart.
Your Honor, I would ask to use a chart for demonstrative purposes, Defendant's Exhibit 20 or 29.
29. Lori, approach, and come up with that exhibit. You may continue. You may continue.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
I'm going to hand you the chart that we were just discussing.
Okay.
Now, can you tell me, starting in August, how many calls were made between the phone number that is assigned to Andrea Sneiderman and the phone number that is assigned to Hemy Neuman? So from Andrea to Hemy.
You want me to tell you between August and which period of time? Sorry.
I think it's broken out into months.
Oh, here it is. Sorry. Yes. In August, there were 200. Sorry. In August, there were 27 phone calls. In September, there were 43. In October, there were 51. And in November, there were 35.
Going back to August, that's calls from. Do you also have the total calls between the two? So from Hemy to Andrea and from Andrea to Hemy.
I do.
How many calls in August?
In August, Mr. Newman made 22 phone calls to Andrea Sneiderman, and she made 5 to him.
Is there a column for total?
27.
And in September, how many calls between the two?
43.
And in October, how many calls between the two?
51.
And in November, how many calls between the two?
35.
In No, I'm sorry, may I approach the
You
witness?
may.
Do you also have the total number of text messages between these two for those months?
Yes, I do.
How many text messages between the two in August?
262.
What about September?
372.
What about October?
358.
What about November?
92.
Now you said 262 in August. What about July?
July was 152.
Okay, and what about June?
I don't have texts for June, not on this chart.
Now, looking at those numbers and the number of contacts between the two, is that consistent with what he told you about their relationship and their communication?
Yes, it is. He told me that their relationship and their communication just intensified as time went on, from the end of June onward.
Now for emails. Let me show you. Your Honor, I'm going to offer into evidence, I'm going to offer into evidence Defendants Exhibit 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 8 through 25. They are emails that have been previously admitted as part of the larger group but that we are going to be specifically using here.
Any objection to 8 through 25?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
All right, 8 through 25, the minute of objection, may call up to the jury if you wish.
Thank you. Your
You're
Honor,
welcome.
I also have a series of charts prepared that are excerpts from those emails that are in a more readily readable form that I would ask to share as a demonstrative aid only, and that would be 20.
I'm sorry, what's that number again?
Let me start with D29.
B29?
29.
All right. Any objection to B29 as a demonstrative aid?
No, Your Honor.
All right, it can be used and it is admitted. For the purpose of a demonstrative aid, you may continue.
Dr. Flores, did you review the emails between Andrea and Hemy and Andrea?
Yes, I did.
And were there a series of emails that related to Andrea sending items about her children to Hemy that were important?
Yes, there were.
Was there an email sent on August 16th regarding pictures? Regarding a picture?
Yes, there was. Andrew Sneiderman sent Mr. Neuman a picture depicting her and Sophia.
And did Hemy respond to that email?
He did. He responded at 11:42 that night.
And what did he write?
I just saw your text messages. I am so happy for you and Sophia. You can't imagine. ... Thank you for sharing with me. I feel like I was there standing by the doorway, looking adoringly with a huge proud smile on my face. It made my week. Happy face, Hemy.
And how is that important to your diagnosis?
It's consistent with the types of discussions that they're having about the children, and another sort of idea of reference, and I think it gives a sense of Mr. Newman's.
I object to Your Honor to gives a sense of the relevancy of opinions.
Yeah, sustain that portion of the objection. Approach one more, unrelated to that. Let's come up for a quick second more. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Doctor, I'm going to put up emails and then put the chart back up. Email 3812, Defendant's Exhibit 10, with new album. Defendant's Exhibit 8. An August 16th email. Defendant's Exhibit 10. A September 8th email. And Defendant's Exhibit 11. A September 7th email. Now when you put the chart back up, what was this, starting with the September 8th email, what was that email?
On September 8th, Andrea Sneiderman sent Mr. Neuman a collection of 98 pictures from her daughter Sophia's birthday party. And she wrote, "In case you're interested."
Then, was there a responding email?
Yes, he responded, "Thank you."
And what was her response?
So then she sends him an additional 100 pictures from the same birthday party.
And, sorry, let me put one more up. Defendant's Exhibit 12, which is somewhat small print. So if we go back to the chart, what was the final response?
His response was, "You and the kids are amazing, ... Thanks for sharing that with me," from Mr. Neuman.
Were there then a series of emails in August between Hemy and Andrea after the Greenville, South Carolina trip that were important?
Yes, there were.
I'm going to put up briefly the emails and put the chart up so that they're readable.
Okay.
The first is Defendant's Exhibit 13, subject line, "I'm sorry," from August 27th. The second is with that same subject line from August 28th, Defendant's Exhibit 14. The next is Defendant's Exhibit 15, August 29th, subject line, "One last thought." The next is Defendant's Exhibit 16, subject line, "Release contractor," from July 14th. And the last is Defendant's Exhibit 17 from July 13th. Let's start with the August 27th email. Can you tell me what that was and read it?
Are we talking about the first one?
First, yes.
Okay. Mr. Neuman writes to Andrea Sneiderman, I'm sorry I caused you so much pain when all I wanted was to give you so much. ... I know it doesn't help, but I am so sorry. I shouldn't have come over. You are so beautiful, such a great person.
And was there a reply to that?
Yes, Andrea Sneiderman emails Mr. Neuman, I really do not know what to say at this point. I am angry. Your apology is heartfelt, but does not make the ongoing pain go away that now I have to repent and live with for the rest of my life. Not sure what I was thinking. I am also feeling that we have ruined it. Now, sure. I am not trying to be hurtful. I am just being honest. I am not sure how to live with this.
And then was there a reply to that?
She wrote to him again. Andrea Sneiderman wrote to Mr. Neuman again that evening, and she wrote, I will just harbor feelings of anger and regret for an unknown period of time, and I do not know how that will come out during our quote-unquote normal friendship. I am fearful that we can now never have that, and maybe that is okay and better for us in the long run.
And what is the next email?
The next email is the following morning. Mr. Neuman responds or emails Andrea Sneiderman. This is the last one from me, ... I know it won't help, but please never forget how much I love you.
And does she reply to that?
She does. That same day, she replies, I know, but so do other people, and I have betrayed them all, and I am not sure how to deal with that now. My burden, not yours at this point.
And does he reply to that?
Right. He responds on the 29th at 1:32 in the morning. He says, one last thought, besides the birth of Tom and Lee, that was the most beautiful, most wonderful experience of my life, and I am sure as with you, ... today, the saddest day.
So this is August. This is after the first trip to South Carolina, not the second trip. Had they had intercourse?
He does not believe that they had had intercourse at that point. He believes that they had had some sort of sexual activity, but he was not certain if it was intercourse, and he said that he's fairly certain that it was not intercourse at that point.
Moving forward to the next. Can you read that?
I'm sorry, which one?
The following one, the August 29th at
On the 29th,
7:15
okay.
a.m.
Andrea Sneiderman writes to Mr. Neuman, I appreciate that you at least understand what I am feeling, but I am having constant feelings of anger towards you, me, everything. Yes, it is mixed with some other feelings as well, but those are selfish feelings that I am trying to suppress at every moment. I guess one of the worst things is that Thursday night was one of the best nights / dinners out I have had in a very long time. It was such a great evening as a whole, and now I do feel sad that I will never have that again. So many other things to say, none are appropriate for email, and most result in me getting very angry. So I will stop now.
Okay. So the distinction between him talking about the most beautiful, wonderful experience of my life and her talking about one of the best nights, dinners out I've had in a long time, is that difference important?
It is. I think it is important in the level of what he's reading into the relationship and his perception of what the relationship is.
The next email on August 29th at 4:46 in the evening. What is that?
7:46. It's an email from Mr. Neuman to Andrea Sneiderman. And it says, marry me. You're thinking I'm crazy, and you've made your intention clear, ... but before you respond, just spent a night thinking about it. It won't solve everything, but you know I will give you, Sophia, and Ian the world, and that together we can make it all work. Marry me, Hemy.
And what is her reply? Or I'm sorry, what is the next email from him?
He writes to her again at 10:02, and he writes to her, the betrayal and anger is not what we did. That's a cop-out. It's about how you felt, what you wanted, how you felt when we looked at the stars in Tahoe, when we woke up Friday morning in Denver, when we walked out of the restaurant on Thursday, when you took my hand and nestled your head on my shoulder, blaming it all on Friday morning, doesn't cut it. I know how to make you and Sophia happy, even though I have never met her. I now, more than at any time ever, that it is you that I want to share everything with, and you are pained because it is also what you want, but think you can't. Sorry, and the last one. Think about it. Be with me forever, Hemy.
Now, moving forward to the emails between Hemy and Andrea before the trip to England. I'm going to put up what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 18, which is formatted oddly, and we'll fix that in a minute. And that is page 4437 from the books up there. Then Defendant's Exhibit 19, an email from on September 12th. Defendant's Exhibit 20, an email from September 14th. Defendant's Exhibit 21, an email from September 27th. And then Defendant's Exhibit 22, an email from September 28th. And again, all of these are from the volumes that have already been admitted. I think the last chart I labeled as Defendant's Exhibit 30. This one I will label as Defendant's Exhibit 31, again for demonstrative purposes only. And ask you to read, say when that first email was sent, and read that.
Andrea Sneiderman sent Mr. Neuman an email on September 12, 2010. And it says, I know you are in charge of Friday, but really random question. Does it sound nuts for me to ask if you would want to go to the theater on Friday night? I am not even sure we could make it there in time. Plus, it is a fortune, I am sure, and that is a lot for me to ask. I even considered paying for both of our tickets, but not sure I can swing that right now either. Anyway, it was just a random thought. Not a requirement at all. There are plenty of other great things to do in London. Not even sure anything good is out there.
And then can you read the next email?
The next email is the same day, September 12th, from Mr. Neuman to Andrea Sneiderman. And he writes, I was planning a surprise for Friday. Since the cat is out of the bag, ... I wanted to go with you to a dance club, ... And yes, I may not be good, but I do dance. We can figure it out next week, ... And I love your random thoughts.
And the next email?
The next email is that same day, September 12th. Andrea Sneiderman writes to Mr. Neuman, happy face, what a fantastic idea. Yes, we can figure it out. I have always wanted to go to a club in London, although I am sure I am nowhere near cool enough. My clothes are certainly not trendy enough.
And the next email?
It's on September 14th from Andrea Sneiderman to Mr. Neuman. Desire versus reality, as you know, as a world, I am trying to ignore because I have to. So sorry, not fair to you, I know. I have other thoughts, but not the time right now.
Okay. And that last phrase, the desire versus reality, how is that important?
It's important because it's perceived by Mr. Neuman as potential mixed signal he thinks that it's the fact that she says desire versus reality. He thinks that there really is something there. He interprets it as meaning, I want you.
Now, moving forward to after the England trip, can you read that first September 27th email from Andrea to Hemy?
Yes. 3 o'clock, Andrea Sneiderman writes to Mr. Neuman, so many arguments over the weekend I could tell you about, but it will only make it worse. The kids did very well while I was gone. So did Rusty. But now that I am home, the tension is bad. ... I guess that is the real issue. Oh, well.
And the next email?
It's on the 28th of September. Mr. Neuman writes to Andrea Sneiderman, it was a great evening with Orna. As for the personal issue, ... she was shocked, of course, ... but very understanding. She suggested that I do counseling first without ending it completely and irrevocably. If for no other reason, to prove to myself and the kids that I tried everything. I'll call the doctor tomorrow and set up an appointment for myself, and then we'll see where that goes.
And, his reference to calling a doctor, are those the records that you got?
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Foundation, how can this...
Sustain. Lay off foundation. Please.
Earlier you testified that you got some records from Dr. Jerkovic, correct?
I did. I got them from her and from somebody else.
Okay. Well,
Lower approach. All right, move on. And wait a minute, I'm looking at my clock. Wait, they've been done for a while now. I try to give them a break at least once an hour, and sister, that's going to be Deputy Lewis. He's going to assist me. Deputy Lewis, give him a 10-minute stretch break, have him back in the jury box in 10 minutes. Thank you. All rise.
You may be seated. Mr.